big g'day and welcome to another edition of the RDFNL Footy Show reviewing round 18. My name's Andy here with Shaun, mate. How you going there?
G'day, mate. Going very, very well. Finals are upon us. It's a very exciting time of year.
Absolutely, mate. And obviously a big weekend of junior footy as well on a Sunday too, mate. How are you feeling after a big day at the office?
Yeah, just starting to get back into it. I think the tonsils have come out okay, which is good. But obviously a big day and a tiring weekend, but a fantastic day for our junior grand final day, of course. McPherson Park was absolutely rocking. People everywhere across two footy grounds and the netball courts, and great to see some really good footy and netball played as well.
Absolutely. Nice to see some of the best and fairest star on the big stage as well. I know a number of them did get named BOG.
There was two on my ground, obviously our under 14 and under 16 Turner senior best and fairest both got the BOGs in the grand final as well. Sam Ramsey from the Gisborne Rookies in the under 14s and Josh Valinskas from Kilmore in the under 16s, both best on ground on the big stage. Complimenting or augmenting was what I was trying to say. Their best on fairest trophy and their premiership medals in the end as well.
I know Benny Radford did the job down there and over at Riddle over in the under 14 Beatson with fantastic. Congratulations to all, and congratulations to those who made the finals in the RDFNL across football and netball. As we look back to some of the games in round 18, and the first one we look at, Lansfield v Kilmore. Lansfield 14-16-100 defeated Kilmore 7-6-48. I had a chat with Trav McCarty, one of the co-coaches down at Kilmore over at the junior grand finals, and he said that it was a bit disappointing that they finished in the second half because there was only a couple of goals in it in the first half, and then Lansfield kicked away. Yeah,
I was following the scores on live scores throughout the day, and you could see that in the first half that the scores were very, very close, but Johnny Kent, 7 goals on the day, one of the big, of course, improvers for Lansfield, making Lansfield one of the big improvers this year. Won the goal kicking this year, and another fantastic effort with him with 7 goals on Saturday.
Simply magnificent there, and good to see Marcus Webb. He's kicked a few goals over the Blues in recent weeks. He kicked 3 the previous week, came up with 4 to finish off the season.
And Peter D'Souza deserves a mention as well, our round 16 Rising Star nominee as well, Steve Turner medal nominee.
Excellent. He's an outstanding player. Has been so over the last couple of years down at the Blues. As we look at another game that sort of turned a few heads if you're watching on the live scores. Diggers Rest 2013-137 defeated Masson 8-6-54. And the Burrows, they kicked the first 8 goals of the game and they just kept cruising.
They were absolutely flying, and the percentage boost did them well as well because it's put them into the top 2 and given them that all-important double chance in the first week of the finals. And we know, obviously, a lot of people like finishing third, but as we know, it's not ideal, especially in a year like this where the top 6 teams are so close to finish third. So Diggers put the foot down, did what they need to do to get that top 6 chance, and they did it top 2 chance, and they did it very nicely.
Very funny with this game as well. Had the Cats got up, the two would have been facing week 1 of the final, such as the closeness of the competition.
It would have been 4v5. Instead, Diggers Rest ended up in second.
Yeah, it's funny how this competition has gone. I did speak to Jeff Andrews, the Masson coach, on Sunday. He did say that the Burrows had to play at their best, and he was stunned. So that was quite remarkable over there. As we look to our game on Highlands FM, and Riddle 22-154 defeated the Sunbury Kangaroos 8-9-57. Believe it or not, heading into time on in the first term, the Kangaroos were up before Brian Ruffle decided to put his authority on the game. Kicked 4 goals in 6.5 minutes.
Big Ruff. 12 for the day as well, so nice way to end the season. And you expected the Sunbury Kangaroos to come out strong in this one. They had everything to play for with a finals berth on the line. There, of course, if they didn't get through, it was going to be Chris Meacham's last game as coach, which it did end up being. And you did a fantastic job with your piece on the RDFL website last week, looking at Meach and having a chat to him about his RDFL career and what a career it has been for Chris. Obviously, who will ever forget that goal after the siren to give Sunbury Kangaroos their first ever premiership in 2012, and just a fantastic person, a fantastic football person, someone that will be missed around the RDFL community. So, Meach, hats off to you, mate. I know you never take yours off. We'll take ours off for you, mate. You have been an absolute ornament to the Riddle District Football Netball League, and we wish you all the very, very best in whatever comes next for Chris Meach. And we know that there's still some surgery to come and still recovering from that accident last year, mate. All the very best. You've always got friends here at the Riddle District Football Netball League, and anytime you ever need anything, just knock on the door, mate.
And would you believe it, the last quarter he coached at Sunbury Kangaroos, he started where no coach has gone before. He started in the Highlands FM commentary box. The first 3 minutes he spent with us talking about the game, and then we've obviously made reference to some of the action going on as well. So that's
Did you just slide a move or two in as well? Just suggest a couple of things, or didn't matter because the game was too far gone by then?
Well, they're too far gone, but the boys were doing pretty well. And then he went off, and the Bombers kicked the goal, and then Sunbury Kangaroos guys were saying, go on, get him back behind the microphone. So, look, it was a great day. And Brian Ruffle, 12 goals, 5 on the day. 2 of them were posters in the last quarter. So.
Talk to me about Riddle. Talk to me about their premiership premiership credentials. They have been the form team of the second half of the season. There's no doubt about that. From what you've seen last weekend and in recent weeks, can they do what they did in 2013?
Look, they're taking the reminiscence of the other Bombers, the Essendon variety back
Except
in 2000.
they're no good.
You're
going to say
back in the glory
back in the
days.
day.
But essentially, what's happened round 7, Rupertswood, that was a big turning point for the club on and off the field, and that's where they are today. That's what it has boiled down to. Everyone's on the same page. They've got the same goals, and I won't be speaking out of house there. I know it's been a big conversation point, and I think it's a good example for clubs out there. If they really want to turn things around, you just get the club together and say, this is what we want to do. And the Bombers, they've gone out and done that. They're not only doing it at senior football, but they're also smashing it in A-grade netball as well.
So you can
see it happening.
Their A-grade netball was in the same spot in a qualifying final on the weekend up against Rupertswood, but we'll talk more about that later in the week.
Absolutely, mate. Now, the next game here was obviously the finals having a big impact on this one. Broadford 8-19, 67 defeated Rockbank 4-8-32 by 35 points. There was only a goal in it in the third term before Broadford just they did what they had to do.
They did what they had to do, you're dead right. I don't think Skip would be all that happy with 8 goals 19, especially knowing that they're playing a final on that same ground this coming weekend. It's something that they probably need to address quickly if they want to make headway into the finals, which we know they can. We know they've got the side to really test Rupertswood this coming weekend, and look, they've shown that over the last couple of weeks. They showed it a few weeks ago against Rupertswood as well, but they work on that goal kicking accuracy. If they can get that right and they can get Russell Robertson taking hangers and kicking goals, it's going to be a very, very big week for Broadford, I think.
Well, he kicked 3 goals on Saturday, and Harley Cameron, who's had a really good season over at the Rams, he finished with 2, and Ricky Cameron, a good young star coming through very
and
very
the
clever.
round 18 nominee for the Steve Turner medal as well. That is an exclusive because that hasn't gone on the website as yet. So there it is, round 18, Dome Security Steve Turner medal nominee, Ricky Cameron from the Rockbank Footy Club, and round 17, Kane Wilson from the Melton Centrals as well. So there's a couple of exclusives just for those that watch the RDFL Footy Show.
Good work out there by the teams out in the Western region. Now this is a big game. This one, Romsey 29-18. 192 defeated Wood and Heskett 4-5-29. The Redbacks, they came out, they kicked 18 goals to 1 in the second half.
I reckon they made a statement there. I reckon they've said there's a lot of talk about Riddle, there's a lot of talk about all these other clubs. It's the reigning premiers saying, hang on, don't forget us. This is the time of year where we do very, very good things. And obviously having some boys kicking some big goals on the weekend as well. A couple of bags amongst it. I think Mitch Farmer kicked 7, didn't he? And Lobby kicked 5 as well. So a couple of boys getting amongst it. Romsey just cherry ripe at the right time of the year. Dean Helmers knows that it's qualifying for this stage that is a big thing. And obviously they haven't quite probably qualified where they would have wanted to. They've got to go through an elimination final and really kind of go through the hard way if they want to make the grand final again this year. But we all know how good Romsey are at this time of year. They showed it last year, and if they hit their straps, there's not too many teams that can go with them.
Exactly, and they showed in this game, but out of the 29 goals, 14 players jumped on the goal sheet, mate.
And how important is that to be, especially come finals time, to make sure you've got several avenues to go?
Very, very important there. And bad luck there to the Hawks. They've had a tough season, but I think that's pretty well known there. Any club that's had to do what they've had to do this year, look, there's no easy way about it.
It's probably the end of a season that I reckon the folk at Woodend Heskett probably would have been happy. In the end, happy to see the season over because now they get a chance to regroup, they get the chance to recruit. They made some improvements this year, there's absolutely no doubt about that. The improvement shown by the Woodend Heskett Footy Club was fantastic this year, and Ross Light's got them going in the right direction. Now they can worry about getting back on the GGO, getting 2016 off to an absolute flyer, and I think we're going to see some pretty good things from the Hawks next year.
Absolutely, it's going to be magnificent there. Good young players coming through, which of course feature in the qualifying final, so that's attributed to some of the great work they're doing, and the under-19s as well, of course, they're making finals as well. Last game of round 18, Rupertswood 16-18, 114 to Wallen 8-9-57. They basically doubled their score. 8-9 times 2 was Rupertswood outcome there. Campbell Corey kicked 10 goals. He kicked a lazy 8 out of 10 in the first half. He had a blinder.
Yeah, and then apparently didn't get anywhere near it in the second half as well. He's had a great first half and a stinky second half. But look, again, for Rupertswood, this was all about going through the motions, making sure they get a good hit out before next week, and obviously finishing in the best position they could. They're in third. Obviously, if they are able to win this week, then they get the dream run. They go into a second semi-final and they get 2 bites of the cherry. I suppose the flip side of that is if they lose, it's Mad Monday.
Absolutely.
That's the problem with finishing in third sometimes. It's not always especially as we said before, in a year such as this, it's not always as what it's made out to be. But if they do win, the spoils of victory are great for Rupert's Wood, and they showed it on the weekend. Having Cam McCrory kicking those goals is a really good sign because it takes the dependency off Lee Brennan to kick them a winning score as well, which is huge for them.
I guess Lee would have been filthy as well because it was his birthday on Saturday as well. He only kicked one.
It's okay.
Cam just kept stealing his thunder. So anyway, that's neither here or there, mate.
Knowing Lee, he would not have minded that in the slightest.
Not at all. Just take some of the shine off him getting ready for the big stuff in the 2015 finals series, which we'll be talking about later on in the week. Shawnee, great to be in your company as always, mate.
Thanks, mate. Great having you.